Have you ever wondered why America fought alongside Britain during World War I, a country we had to fight for our own freedom from? I can tell you it had nothing to do with an Arch Duke of Hungary, but it was for the bankers that still pull the strings today. At the start of World War I, France and Britain were getting their ass kicked and they were broke. So they turned to an American bank, the House of Morgan. Then in 1915, J.P. Morgan arranged a loan of $500 million to France and Britain, the largest loan in Wall Street history for the time. The House of Morgan wouldn't only get a piece of the action lending the money. J.P. Morgan was also the purchasing agent for what they bought with said loan. And he just happened to be vested in a lot of companies that they bought from. Now we cut to Germany still kicking their ass. Throughout the war, due to the U-boats, they sunk 5,700 ships carrying supplies. That is 1 out of every 4 ships. This was not good for Mr. Morgan's investment. If France and Britain lost this war, he was about to lose some money. Seeing as how President Woodrow Wilson was very close to the Morgans and the Rothschilds,
there must be something can be done.
They needed America to start backing the war, but a direct grant through the Treasury would go against neutrality agreements, unless the U.S. were to join the war. But the American public didn't want anything to do with it. Cut to the RMS Lusitania. This was one of the biggest luxury liners in the world on its way from New York to Liverpool. Then on May 7th, 1915, those nasty Germans sunk our ship out of nowhere. And out of the 1,195 people that were lost, 123 of them were Americans. Except they didn't sink the ship out of nowhere. The U.S.-German embassy actually posted this travel warning in 50 newspapers along the East Coast. But since J.P. Morgan owned most of the newspapers, it was only published in the Des Moines Register.
But wait! There's more!
See, Mr. Morgan actually packed the ship with his own cargo before it left New York Harbor. And then Winston Churchill actually recalled the destroyer that was supposed to meet up with the Lusitania as protection. Then he told him to turn off one of their steam engines. Now that the Lusitania was moving slower through German waters without backup, a U-boat sent a torpedo into the side. They did not have to load another torpedo, though. See, whatever Mr. Morgan packed into the cargo hold blew a gigantic hole into the side of the ship, causing it to sink within 18 minutes, very quick for a ship its size. But goals were achieved, and now Americans were ready to join the war. We also printed $25 billion worth of war bonds, causing the dollar to lose its value and inflation to skyrocket for the first time in the country. 10 million people lost their lives during World War I, and the bankers funded the war and the rebuilding of both sides. Zelensky just admitted he can't account for $100 billion. So next time you're arguing that we need to be funding these wars, remember, it's not as simple as Russia's bad.